been visiting family in Alabama, and we decided to go to New Orleans for the weekend. My son and daughter-in-law have never been. I was there once as a teenager for 8 hours. That was a while ago. So I'm excited to go back and see what we come up with. We're taking the dog.
I'm not a dog person. I've never really liked dogs. Never really wanted one. So let me introduce you to Sola. Let me see your watermelon. Nice stretch. Okay, a little close there.
We're also taking a gluten-free human, and if you don't know what gluten is, it's a protein that's in wheat and barley and rye, and some people can't digest it. If they eat it, they get very sick. So anything that has gluten is off limits, and that's bread, pasta, crackers, cereal, most desserts. There's wheat in soy sauce, so most Asian foods are off limits. Gluten is in lots of things, so it's hard to eat out in restaurants. Also, if something is prepared gluten-free, but it's prepared next to something that has gluten, like if I cut a loaf of bread on a cutting board and then fix a piece of chicken for the gluten-free person, the bread on the cutting board could have contaminated the chicken. So they have to be very careful. So our challenge is to find good food that's gluten-free, see New Orleans, and do it all with a dog. Let's go. It was raining pretty hard when we drove to New Orleans, and the dog wasn't that happy about the thunder, but she was very comfortable resting her head on my arm. So we got there about 5 o'clock on a Friday, and we walked the dog, settled into our little rental unit, and we were on the edge of the Garden District. We just wanted to find someplace close by, so we went to Casamento's. This is a restaurant that advertises a lot of gluten-free options on their menu and seafood. It was founded by an Italian immigrant about 100 years ago, and it still has Italian tile on the floor. Most of the items on the menu are gluten-free. It's kind of a homey, casual place, neighborhood place. It's cash only. So we ordered oyster stew and a plate of broiled oysters that were really good. These oysters were bigger than what we get in Northern California, and they were super fresh. They came with 3 different treatments, 3 different sauces. Really, really good. Then we shared a platter, a seafood platter that was deep fried, and this is a real treat for a gluten-free person. Again, all of the seafood, there were 5 or 6 kinds of seafood and fish, and they were all really, really fresh. Very, very tasty dish. I also tried a local amber ale, Abita, and it was also very good. It's made in Louisiana. I might have had a second bottle. So the next day, we decided to go to the French Quarter. The weather was really good, and we took the dog, and we just wanted to wander around and see the sights. We had a good time just strolling up and down the streets, going into some of the shops. There were a lot of street artists. There were a lot of musicians. We came across an impromptu parade. There was a band playing in front of the cathedral, and it was just a really pleasant morning. That we really enjoyed seeing the architecture, and it was lively but not crazy. We also found a really cute little dog store. I think it was called Southern Paws, and they had a water bottle or water bowl out front for the dogs. And they welcomed dogs inside. And the lady inside thought our dog was so cute. She asked if she could give her a treat. And our dog was so grateful and wagged her little tail so nicely that she got a second treat. It was a really sweet store. The next day, we were walking down the same street, and we got close to the store, and our dog just kind of beelined like, "I'm going back." So for lunch that day, we decided to go to Bond's. This is a restaurant that's right by the river, and they advertise quite a few gluten-free options, including a gluten-free po' boy. So that was the big attraction. Unfortunately, the day we were there, they had run out of sauce for the po' boy. So even though they could make it gluten-free, they didn't have the right sauce for it. We ordered it anyway. It was pretty dry, but I had some gator bites, and they came with a Cajun ranch sauce that was pretty tasty. So we put that sauce on the po' boy, and that made it better. A bit of a disappointment, but the rest of the food was pretty good. They also had regular beignets, and then they had a kind of a dessert that was beignet-like that was gluten-free, so we had one of each of those. In the afternoon, we wandered back to our rental and took a little break, gave the dog a nice walk, and then we went to the National World War II Museum. This is a big museum in New Orleans. It's 6 acres, 2 different buildings across the street, and tons of artifacts, lots of film, lots of personal stories. When we walked in to buy our tickets, there was a sign that said World War II veterans free. And my dad was a World War II veteran, and he died 12 years ago at the age of 95. So I'm thinking, okay, he would be 107. So I asked the guy, do you ever get any World War II veterans? And he said, oh, yeah, they come in and walk around. And I was, wow, I hope I'm going to museums and walking around when I'm 107. That was impressive. There were 2 kind of main sections. There's the road to Berlin, which covered the European front, and the road to Tokyo covered the Pacific campaign. My dad served in the Pacific, so we started out there, and it went kind of chronologically. So you wandered through all these different rooms, and some of them were decorated like island jungles, and lots of signage that told stories of specific individuals who had been there. And that part made it really personal and interesting. They had aircraft hanging from the ceilings and boats, lots of stuff. We were there quite a while, and then we realized we only had about an hour left, so we moved on to the European section. Again, chronological order, lots and lots of displays and stories, a lot of good film footage. One of my favorite parts was a section that was dedicated to the monuments men and women. This was a little-known story from World War II up until a few years ago when George Clooney made a movie about it. And these were groups of art historians, professors, curators, museum directors who were all kind of middle-aged, so too old to be drafted. And they got together and formed a group that tried to save as much artwork as they could from destruction. And after the war, they worked for quite a few years to try and get the artwork back, to identify it, get it back to its rightful owners where possible. One of the stories they highlighted was the story of Rose Vallon. She was a French woman who worked at the Jeu de Paume Museum. She was, I think, an assistant curator. And she worked there before the war, but during the war, she continued to work there. And the Germans just kind of ignored her because they thought, well, she's a woman and she's low level, and they would just go about their business. What they didn't know is that she spoke fluent German, and she was taking notes and keeping track of what pieces they were taking and where they were sending them. She was making copies of the shipping documents. And later in the war, she was able to provide that information both to the French resistance and also to the monuments men and women. And her information was very instrumental in the Allies being able to recover a whole lot of artwork. There was like 3.5 million pieces of art that were believed to have been taken by the Germans, and they've recovered, I think, all but 700,000. I studied art history, and I knew a lot of the pieces that they were showing that had been at risk during the war, and these were pieces that I've seen all my life and taken for granted and never really realized that it they were at risk and might not have survived. So after our trip to the museum, we went back and played with the dog, took her for a nice long walk, and then we decided to try another restaurant in the Garden District. This was called Achamalea, and again, advertised a lot of gluten-free options. So we tried the Low Country shrimp and grits, and then we had 2 pan-fried fish dishes. One was a redfish, local redfish, and one was a tilefish. All of it was really good. We also shared some bacon braised greens, and it was all really good. We enjoyed it a lot. So we found that there were several walking tour companies that welcomed dogs. And so the next morning we went back to the French Quarter on a walking tour with our dog, and we were the only people who showed up. So it was like a private tour. It was a history-based tour. So the guide talked a lot about the history of New Orleans and a lot about architecture too. And we wandered around for a couple of hours with him and our private tour and our dog. At one point, we passed the house of Marie Laveau. She was an herbalist and a hairdresser. She was also a voodoo priestess. And out in front of her house, people were tying scrunchies to her window rails. paying homage to her hairdresser past. And the tour ended up in Armstrong Park, which is named after the great jazz musician Louis Armstrong. I grew up on his music. So it was a great tour. We enjoyed it very much. So after the tour, we wandered back through the French Quarter. We ended up at the French Market, and there was a little food stand called Meals from the Heart. They had a lot of gluten-free options, including more gluten-free po' boys. They had a chicken Philly, they had a crab and a shrimp. I think we went with the shrimp po' boys, this time with sauce, and they were very good. So we were heading back to our car, walking back through the French Quarter, and we found an ice cream shop. It was called Sweet Saint, and I had a chocolate ice cream called an ice cream named Desire that was a triple chocolate concoction. It was delicious. We went back to the house for another break and another dog walk, and then we went out for our last evening on the town. We started out by going to a rooftop bar, high five, and had a cocktail, and then we went back to the French Quarter and tried a restaurant called The Will and the Way. This had a bit of an Asian theme. We had a crispy citrus salad that we shared, some chicken sauté, some really hot, spicy French fries that were too hot for me to eat, but the kids loved them. And then as we were wrapping up the evening and starting to head back, we were walking back up Bourbon Street through the French Quarter, and we came to a place called the Sonesta Hotel. They had a bar called the Jazz Playhouse, and we went in there, and there was a great jazz band playing, and we sat there for over an hour. They were really good, and they were taking requests. It was the perfect end to our time in the French Quarter. So for breakfast on our final day, we drove across the river to a place called the Hen House, which was in Gretna. They can make anything on their menu gluten-free. So we had biscuits and gravy, eggs, bacon, pancakes, pastries, grits, and really good coffee. The staff were lovely, the food was delicious, and it was sort of a great last meal. And as we were driving home, we were all talking about what a great time we'd had, and the kids were starting to talk about when could they go back, because they're only a 4 or 5 hour drive away. That wraps up our little weekend road trip, and New Orleans is a great destination for both gluten-free dining and a dog. If you enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'll be taking off on another trip very soon. You might consider subscribing if you want to hear more of my adventures. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.